Hello, everyone! Today we're playing something very special. It's called Stay Dead, and you'll get the idea very quickly what this is about, but basically, it's an FMV fighting game. And there's our hero. Our nameless hero. We never find out his name. So, I said it's an FMV fighting game, and you might be a little confused as to what exactly that would be. I'm not talking about something like the original Mortal Kombat, which was a fighting game using real actors as sprites. I'm talking about a game that uses FMV as the actual gameplay. Like so. He even stands like he's in a fighting game. A little animation routine he's doing there. I love it. I've always had kind of a soft spot for FMV games, so I did want to give this one a try. Press buttons corresponding to the prompts that appear on the screen, and he'll do moves. So basically, the gameplay are just QTEs. It doesn't actually say QTEs anywhere in the game, but that's really what it just comes out to. The creators of the game on the website call this a motion picture game. Oh, I messed that up. Apparently, the premise for why something like this would exist is they say that they wanted to make a game that is as entertaining for someone to watch as it is to play, because if you have someone who's playing the game and someone who's sitting on the couch watching the game being played, they want it to be entertaining to the person who's watching it as well. I don't know if this is really what they were going for. So during a fight, you can't die. What they're referring to is that in each fight, you have a number of rounds, and you have to drain the enemy of 10 hit points before the 10 rounds are over. You don't have a health bar. That doesn't matter. All you have is time. You have 3 options you can pick at the beginning of each round. A single attack, which requires you to only press one prompt. A combo, which requires you to press more than one button. And defense, which also requires you to press more than one button. Let's try it out. When it allows me to. Alright, here we go. Now for the fighting. So if we press right, we'll get a prompt to press up, and we punch. We successfully punched. Now for the combo, it will show us what buttons we need to press if we choose combo. Or we could press nothing and our hero will just keep doing this all day. And honestly, I could just watch him keep doing that. This is an amazing game. So, if I press down for combo, it means I will have to do a combo consisting of the right button and the up button, or key, I should say. Like so. And the last thing is defense. Or rather, it's going to tell us about changing the length of the combo, which we can do like this, pressing A, to decide if I want to do a 2-hit or a 3-hit combo. Alright, defense. We can also do 3 hits with this one, but it's a bit harder in that it does not tell us what keys we're going to have to press. That's some good blocking. Yeah, our defense is impregnable. Alright, tutorial's over. Now it's time to actually face a challenger. Alright, so it's time to actually play the game. Or, once again, we could do nothing and just have these two guys do this all day. Which I am fine with. So, just kind of throws us in here. Now, no real story so far. Okay, let's try out the single attack. There we go. Now I've taken off one square of health in the lower right-hand corner. In the upper left-hand corner... in the upper right-hand corner, we've lost a round. We could just keep doing single attacks to keep parity with the number of rounds and health if we succeeded at each attack, but we don't. We want to do some more damage, so let's do a combo. Oh, I messed up the combo. If I mess up a combo, I get to go into whoops, I messed that up. To go into defense, which will allow me to perhaps recover from my mistake, which I didn't there. I failed. But I succeeded there. Okay, let's try defense. See what that's like. You might notice that the video kind of slows down while I hit a button prompt. The reason is because this game does get a lot harder than what it is right now. The prompts on higher difficulties go by much faster, and we'll be seeing what that looks like. Or we could just watch these two guys grapple with each other and make no progress. Alright, let's go for a 3-hit combo. The only thing about the combo is that it tells you what buttons you'll have to press, but it doesn't tell you if you'll have a particular kind of prompt, like if you have to hit the button a bunch of times. Honestly, it is possible to get into a good back and forth if you're screwing up and you have to parry. There are some cases where that happens. I think the game is at its best in those moments, if they happen. Alright, we've actually beaten Yama, because we're into bonus point territory at this time. You can see how he only has one bonus point left. So since there's only one left, I'll just finish him off with a single attack. There you go. And if we didn't get a perfect, or rather if we didn't get all those bonus points off, we would not have seen that little sequence, that I guess you could call it a fatality, sort of. We wouldn't have seen that. But since I got all the bonus points, we saw that, as well as I got a continue bonus, so if I lose a fight, I'll have at least one continue at this point. I also got round bonuses. What that means is, as we continue on in the game, the amount of rounds we'll have in a fight will decrease. So I might go into a fight that only has 8 rounds, or only has 6 rounds. But if I get these perfects and build up my round bonuses, I can add those bonus rounds to the amount of rounds the match has, up to 10, if that makes sense. And that'll be important when we get to the later fights. Not that they get that much later, because there are only 5 opponents in this game. And now it's time for a stick fight with an undead Nazi. This game is amazing. Oh, hold on. Okay, so we actually went up a difficulty level since I did so well in the first fight, and now that we're on the normal difficulty, the opponent will attack if we don't do anything for a while. Yeah, so the difficulty level is dynamic. You cannot change it yourself. Rather, it's determined by how well you do in the fights. The better you do, the higher the difficulty goes. I love that camera angle. I wonder if they got a permit for this this performance. It looks like they're outside of a school or something. I wonder if there are people in the building wondering what these guys are doing. Alright, okay, only one bonus point left, so let's do a single attack to finish him. And there you go. You know, the weirdest thing, well, there are a few weird things about this game, but the strangest thing to me about it is that when FMV was a big thing, people envisioned it as being sort of the future of storytelling and cinematics in video games. This game has no story. Rather, the creator of the game was... Yes. Rather, the creator of the game was believed very much in the idea of using FMV as fast action gameplay. Now, Iblis here is one of the harder opponents in the game because there's no defense option. If you screw up on one of these prompts, you don't get to go into defense. Iblis just throws you to the ground. So I find Iblis to be harder than a lot of the other guys. Or rather, throws you to that mat that they put down on at this junkyard. So yeah, this fight is all throws all the time. Alright, but I think I'm doing okay so far. Let's see. Okay, he has one normal hit point left, and I have 5 rounds to go, so I'm doing okay. No. I mean, I have to say, the FMV is well shot and well lit. You look at this scene, it does look better than a lot of the FMV that you got in the old 90s games. It looks like they did put some money and effort into this. Because if you look at, you know, like the camera angles they're getting here, there are some dynamic moving camera angles. And there's some shots above and below some sweeping shots above and below the actors, implying that they must have gotten, like, a crane in for this camera. So it looks like that some effort was put forth here. Okay, there we go. You might notice that our hero is using the same fighting style as each of the guys he's fighting. So he didn't just keep his stick from the second fight and use it against Iblis there. He just decided to fight judo with judo. Alright, we're still doing well. Got on time for the 4th fight, which is the last preliminary fight before the final boss. So as I said, there is no real story in this game, but if you look at the website and some external stuff, you can see that there is a story. Basically, the story is each of these opponents are demons. Could you guess that? And we're facing them so we can fight the Master. Oh, messed that up. This is probably my favorite fight in terms of how it looks and sounds. That one prompt there, that's always the hardest for me. The one where you have to hold on to it for a second. I usually mess that one up. Alright, still, we're doing okay. Okay, got it. Great. And that's it for Dagon. And now, we did well enough to get up to 85%, so that means we're on a new skill level, hard. And that's not good because it means we're going to be facing the last boss on hard. What is good is that I have all 10 rounds going into this, and I have 4 continues, so let's see if we can do this. The last boss is actually pretty hard. So say hello to the last boss. I like when he comes in, the hero is sort of looking at him like he can't believe what he's seeing. I'm not sure why they thought this was a good design, but in the 90s, did you watch a lot of TNT? You ever see Mortal Kombat Conquest? Because this reminds me a lot of it. This looks a lot like it. You might have noticed that in this fight, you do have the option for 4-hit combos, and you need those because this guy has more health than the other bosses. For this one, there are no bonus points. You have to... Oh, actually, he only has 3 left. Let's see if we can finish him. You have to get rid of all 15 points to win, and I did it. Wow. I did a lot better than I thought I was going to, because that fight can be really hard. I win. But we all win. Just because Stay Dead exists. I love that this game exists. It's so bad. It's so dumb, but it's the kind of dumb I really like. So let's watch the ending. And that's it. That's the ending. Like I said, I find it very weird that when FMV games were big, it was, like I said, meant to be used as a method of storytelling and cinematics. That's not the case here. Well, I guess it's because the technology has increased. At the time when systems like the Sega CD were around, and FMV games started to become big, the technology was not there, really, for fast action through FMV, because you would have things like, if a system had to fork from one video file to another, you would have significant load times for that to happen. Of course, that's not the case with Stay Dead. All the video is on the hard drive. So when you make a decision, when you make a choice, and the game has to fork between different video files, it can do it instantly. Meaning that you can't actually have some kind of fast gameplay going on in this game. Because old FMV games, the only games that really had any kind of fast action would be games that overlaid actual sprite graphics on top of the FMV, so it can make changes to those sprites while the FMV background plays. This is an attempt of taking a bunch of video files and assembling them in such a way so that you could actually have gameplay using the actual FMV. It's an interesting idea. And here are achievements. If we wanted to go for achievements for these different fights. Some of them, I think, are a little hard to figure out what to do because the English is not so great. Like that one says, make a successful defense plus combo of 3 combination. I took that to meant maybe when you fight the guy, do a defense sequence, and then after that, choose a 3-hit combo. I did that, and I did not get the achievement, so I really don't know what that's supposed to mean. But we can try to do some achievements, I think, since it did not take long to play through the entire game. Let's see. But let's try to do 3 combos of 3 in a row on Iblis. I think we can do that. So like I said, the story is supposed to be that you're fighting these demons to fight the Demon Master. And it is the case that each of... most of the guys have something unusual about their look. But I look at Iblis, and he just looks like some guy. So I think that there might have been some kind of misunderstanding here. I think he might not be a demon at all. I think maybe he just owns the junkyard. And our main character came trespassing on the junkyard because he was looking for demons, and then these 2 guys just ran into each other, and then a judo fight broke out. I think that's probably what happened. But yeah, like I said, when FMV games were a thing, people understood that the actual gameplay in the FMV games were not great, but they put up with it, or at least the developers who were making the games put up with it, because they wanted to try to make something cinematic. And of course, when polygonal graphics became in vogue, the focus, that focus towards cinematic storytelling didn't stop. It just changed forms because it was easier to do with polygonal graphics. You had more control over what was going on. But the creators of Stay Dead seem to feel that there is merit in the gameplay itself being FMV. It's an interesting idea, and since I do kind of like FMV, I would like to see that idea expanded upon. I mean, I don't think that this game really hits what they're saying that... Oh, actually, we get to see what happens when we lose to Iblis. Yep, he does the same thing to us that we did to him. And we didn't unlock any achievements. But like I said, I don't think that this game really gets what the developers were going for, about the idea of this kind of cinematic gameplay using FMV, because it really just, when it comes down to it, it's just a sequence of QTEs that appear on the screen. They're fast QTEs, especially on the hardest difficulty, which I'm going to try to unlock. I want to show the hardest difficulty very hard, because it's kind of insane. So they're fast, but it doesn't really change that it's just an FMV game using QTEs. If they wanted to try to make something a lot more elaborate, they would really have to do something a bit different from this, using a very large series of short FMVs, allowing you to quickly change between paths depending on what you're doing, not just using on-screen prompts, but actual controls. Let's see. Dagon has an achievement for defeating him using only defense moves, which I think is doable. I think we can do that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, doing all right. Oh. Messed that up. That's all right, we have plenty of rounds. Okay, only need to do one more. Yep, there we go. Alright, we unlocked an achievement. Oh, I leveled up. I'm on very hard now. So you can see on the upper right there, my skill level is at the top. And maybe we should show just how crazy it gets when you're on very hard. It's actually almost unplayable. Alright, since I defeated all of the opponents, we now get a menu select screen, with a candle representing each of the demons. When you beat a demon, its candle goes out, and if they all go out, you get to fight the Master. You can't fight the Master directly from this screen, though. But from the screen, we also get these random hints. Okay, the skill level can actually go down if experience points go under 15%. But that hasn't happened yet. I don't know how you actually would do that, because the points don't go down too much if you lose. Yep, defeat the last demon to unlock the very hard skill. We did that. And let's show that off. So, here's Yama, played on very hard. Alright, you see how fast those prompts are going? That's very hard. To play it like this, I think you pretty much just have to memorize how each of these sequence of prompts are going to go. Because this is just way too fast. I actually have been able to get up to the last boss again on very hard. I haven't been able to beat him, though. So I don't know if there's anything else that happens if you do that. And I'm basically doing no damage to Yama here. I can't actually complete any combos. The one where you have to tap the button becomes very difficult to do on very hard since you have so little time to do it. And all that happens when we lose to Yama is we just get out of our fighting stance and just stand there. That kind of makes us seem like a jerk. When we beat Yama, we just murder him. But yeah, I don't know, I love that this game exists. And I really, I'm making fun of it, I'm laughing at it, but honestly, I really like that this exists. And it's honestly not that bad to play. I had a pretty fun time playing it. I mean, your mileage may vary when it comes to just things like QTEs and FMV, but so it might not be for you, and I imagine most people wouldn't like it. But this is something that I did enjoy, and I would be very interested in seeing if the developers tried to continue on in making games that are like this. If they were able to make more elaborate versions of FMV games, trying to revive that sort of thing. That would be very interesting to me. I don't know if there's much merit behind their idea of the motion picture game, of saying that you want to make a movie that's fun to play, but it's also fun for a person to watch. Because if you look at, big budget polygonal games right now, like things like Uncharted, I would say those games are probably pretty entertaining for other people to watch, not necessarily just to play. So is there really a void in that kind of game? A game where one person is playing and other people are sitting on the couch watching and having a good time watching it? Is that really something that doesn't exist that needs to be filled by full motion video? I don't know why they ever called it full motion video. It doesn't make sense. It has to be in motion to be video. Why would you even call it that? But, alright, Stay Dead. Usually I wouldn't play through the entire game since it's such a new game, but it's so short, It's just so short. And I kind of doubt most people watching this will end up buying it and playing it. It costs $10. I paid $10 for this. Yeah. It's just the kind of thing I like. So while the description of the game is very grandiose, is that how you pronounce that? I don't really think this game is achieving that, but it is pretty entertaining to watch. Well, I mean, you can decide for that, I guess. Did you have fun watching this video of it? So maybe the developers did achieve that goal after all. The only thing that you need is someone who would enjoy playing an FMV game, and I guess that's me. But that's Stay Dead. I do hope the developers continue trying to make games like this. And even though I'm making fun of it, like I said, there are some positive points to it. I do think the video is well shot and well lit, and I think that it is more. I think that there are higher production values than you usually would see in a typical FMV game. But still, when it comes down to it, it is still just an FMV game with QTEs. It really is not anything groundbreaking. But if you're interested in Stay Dead, it's available on Desura for $10, or you could go to the developer's website stay-dead.com, buy it directly from them, and read what they have to say about the game. But that's Stay Dead. Oh, actually, it just occurred to me, I think the developer is taking the wrong tack here, because they didn't add a multiplayer aspect to the game. That's what they need to do. They need to add a multiplayer mode and get this game played at EVO. That's what I see as the future for Stay Dead. Hold on a second. I just thought that maybe we should take a look at the developer's website to see what they were thinking about when they made this game. So as you can see, Stay Dead is where you experience the real-time interaction in a movie. Let's go down and see what they have to say. Play in real time in an action movie and defeat all of your enemies in this innovative beat-em-up. Stay Dead is our first motion picture games. A motion picture game is a true interactive meeting point between movies and video games. Playing this kind of game is like watching the movie Indiana Jones and being able to command Indiana in real time, just like if he was a video game character. It's not about graphic adventures or laser games. We are talking about real arcade action game. So, kind of fluff at this point. That doesn't really mean anything. Video games have become very cinematic, and basically, yeah, watching the movie Indiana Jones and being able to command Indiana in real time, yes, Uncharted does exist. In Stay Dead, indeed, even if the graphic is entirely shot in real time, you can move your character and perform more than 150 different techniques distributed in 5 stages. Forget about the old interactive movies from the 80s. Stay Dead is a fast-action arcade game combined with a cinematographic... Sorry, I don't think I can pronounce that word. Cinematographic direction? Well, it is fast action, especially when you get up to the very hard difficulty, but if they're trying to portray it as being as like a fighting game, then it's not really. But let's see what the developer, this is the main developer right here himself, let's see what he has to say.
Think about 2 people sitting on a couch. One of them is playing a game and the other is watching a movie. The point is, both of them are enjoying the same product. Motion picture game is literally a movie with real-time interaction. Stay Dead is our first motion picture game. This is a beat 'em up with fast arcade action.
Alright, so it's like he said, motion picture game being about one person playing it and having a good time and another person watching it and also enjoying what they have to see, even though they're not playing. At his core, Stay Dead is a round beat-em-up, like Street Fighter, with elements taken from rhythm games. In every level, you will fight against a different martial art wrestler. Fight with your bare hands or with a stick. Use all of the classic moves of this kind of games, lifts and projections included. Just watch the result of your stunts with a never-seen-before spectacularity. Is that a word? I like that word. Never seen before spectacularity that just a real-life shot with a cinematographic direction can provide. Apparently, they also released it on iOS, so there's a video of him playing it on a tablet. That seems like that would be annoying, because when I was playing it, my hands were on the necessary keys at all times, but if you're playing it on a tablet, you're moving your fingers around. For us, a motion picture game like Stay Dead works only if it passes the following test. When two people are in front of a motion picture game, and one is playing and the other is watching, the product is successful only if the first enjoys it as a modern video game, and the second one is having fun as if he was watching a movie with its grammar and its visual issues. What? Not a video game with always the same point of view camera. And that's a thing that nowadays you can achieve only with motion picture game. So there you go. You can only achieve it with motion picture game. They said it right there. Yep. There's our hero. Okay, so that's Stay Dead, and even though it's not a game I think I would really recommend to anyone, besides someone who would enjoy playing an FMV game for the same reason I would, like I said, I can't really recommend it, but it's there, and I do want to see what else this developer might come up with, and if they do come up with further motion picture games. But that's Stay Dead. It's $10 if you want it.